From Sacramento, California, a record crowd on hand for round 2 of AMA Motocross. Hello everyone, Art Ekman along with David Bailey and Davey Coombs to bring you the race-by-race action. The 125 riders now are resting at the gate. There you see Casey Lytle, Yamaha of Troy rider. Here's Talon Vohland, number 711, who came over from the GP circuit to compete for FMF. And he was really the only one that gave this guy, Ricky Carmichael, any competition in round 1, as Ricky Carmichael comes off the 1-1 sweep at Glen Helen. Ricky Carmichael with the Suzuki point standings lead, 10 points over Nick Way in second place as we look at the top 10. Ernesto Fonseca, the 125 East winner in Supercross, only in 8th position. Taking a look at the starting grid now. Ricky Carmichael and Talon Vohland along with Ernesto Fonseca and Casey Lytle. Brock Sellards of the FMF team and Casey Johnson of Yamaha of Troy. Casey Johnson with a second place in last week's opener. Michael Brandis, a pleasant surprise. In talking with Ricky Carmichael, David Bailey, he was just hoping to get through these California tracks, but who can beat him?
Well, there's a few guys that have a chance, especially since he's not that comfortable here on this track at Hangtown, but we're going to have to wait and see. Starts are going to be the main thing.
A near-perfect day in the Sacramento area has brought out a record crowd for this one. Let's go to Davey at the starting gate.
Well, last week in the 125 championship opener, as expected, Ricky Carmichael went 1-1. But the big news, as far as a lot of the teams go, was the presence of this man right here, number 711, Talon Vohland of the FMF Honda team. He passed Ricky Carmichael in the second moto. Unfortunately, he fell. I tell you what, it sent shockwaves through the 125 class. One thing to remember this week in Hangtown, this is Talon Vohland's home track. In practice yesterday with Carmichael, they were going at it. If the race is as close as practice was, we should have a great day today here at Hangtown.
Let's take a look at the track map, David.
Well, first of all, they're going to be starting on a cement starting pad. And as they head up into the hills, you've got some sweepers back down around the lake. Great places to pass. Let's take a look at the 15-foot fall away from the rider's perspective. This is early in the morning. You see the shadows. Off over that double. As soon as you land, you got another double and into an off-camber right-hand corner. One of the more interesting sections on the racetrack.
Well, the 125's now ready to go for moto number 1 as we get our second round underway. This time from Sacramento, you see Carmichael right near the doghouse. Fonseca just to his side, and it's Brock Sellards with the hole shot. Sellards of FMF has gotten his first hole shot of the year.
Great start for Casey Johnson right there, number 16. Just like the opening moto at Glen Helen, he's up in good position. Carmichael got squeezed out in the first corner. It was even worse for Fonseca.
691 there was Carlo Cohen in second place. Then it's Casey Johnson, Casey Lytle, 3 Yamahas behind Brock Sellards. Talon Vohland then comes up next. Looks like Ricky Carmichael about in 10th spot, David.
He's following all 3 Suzukis. He's still in pretty good position, but he needs to get up there and stay with Talon Vohland, I have a feeling. Both those guys so far this morning in practice have been the fastest guys in the 125 division.
A triad of Yamahas battling it out for second place as both Caseys try to get by Cohen. That should help Brock Sellards.
It already has. He's got a pretty nice little lead right now. These guys aren't even in his roost yet.
Casey Lytle, number 33. Then it's Casey Johnson. And here comes Talon Vohland getting by Cohen rapidly.
Now, he does everything rapidly. As Davey already pointed out, he was out there trying to size up Carmichael in practice. It's scary to watch. He's so fast. I just kind of cringe a little bit watching him go around the racetrack. Look at him go.
A little bit like Lytle back there. Here it is, bar to bar with Casey Johnson. The veteran Vohland has the edge on the inside. Casey lets him go. Let's see if he can come back now.
Vohland just making sure nobody's coming up the inside of him. I think he thought Casey was going to come back in there and retaliate. I think Casey would be happy to just stay with him. Somebody came by me riding as aggressive as Talon rides. Look at that pass, beautiful.
Inside, outside, and makes another move.
Barely has enough time to reach up and clear his vision. He gets into a few pulls.
And look how close he is to Brock Sellards, his FMF teammate. He's trying to pass 4 riders in less than a half a lap.
That is amazing. If there's any flaw in his racing approach as if he's a little bit over-aggressive, but right now seems to be working for him.
As I mentioned earlier, he provided the only challenge to Ricky Carmichael in that opening round with a 6-2.
Look at this block pass. He's going to cut to the inside, which is going to set him up perfect for the next corner. There's no way Lytle. He's got to go with the groove. Talon cuts to the inside, shorter racetrack, takes his line away.
Talon Vohland emphatic after that Glen Helen round that he has the speed, the experience, and the talent to challenge Ricky Carmichael for this championship. Right now, he's challenging his own teammate, Brock Sellards, for the lead here in Moto number 1.
Look at him just attack.
Oh, made it look easy.
It's not. Trust me, it's scary to go that fast. If we put a camera on his helmet, I don't know if he'd really want to watch. But he's making it work, and he looks pretty smooth so far.
So our new leader is Talon Vohland with Sellards in second. Lytle, Johnson, Carmichael, our top 5. We'll be right back with our first 125 moto after this. AMA Motocross is brought to you by Honda Motorcycles and the 1999 Honda Race Team. Honda, ride red. Welcome back, Art Ekman, David Bailey, Davey Coombs from Prairie City near Sacramento, California. They call it the HANGTOWN Classic because of a judge in the nearby area who was known back in the Wild West days for his over-exuberant sentences. Here's Ricky Carmichael. Ricky's starting to move up now. He's got his sights on the leaders.
It's a pounding right there, coming up short on that double, but he still gets the drive out of the corner.
Look at that. Zipping by Casey Johnson.
They're going so fast down that hill. It's so bumpy into the corner.
Michael Brandis getting into the scene too, David.
Yep. He's still riding aggressive. Impressed me at the first round, moving up through the pack the way he did. Seems to be a little bit more on pace with leaders right now. Beautiful line by Carmichael. That's a popular place to make a pass. Seems like anytime you're behind a rider and he drifts wide, if you can just hold it tight, the pass is easy.
Carmichael with Brock Sellards in front of him. Talon Vohland is our leader. So Carmichael in third, Casey Lytle in fourth with Casey Johnson in fifth.
Let's watch Carmichael again make this pass. Watch him just leave that leg out and stay sitting down. Beautiful inside line. As long as you grip with that outside leg and keep up forward to the tank, perfect way to get through a jump like that and keep on the power.
So Carmichael now approaching number 27, Brock Sellards. Sellards with his first 125 Supercross win this year.
Now he's finding out what it's like to run the pace of the guys out front. He's got Talon and Carmichael who have proven themselves at the first round and so far here this weekend to be the fastest guys on 125s, and he's getting a chance to run that pace, see how it feels. Not that he can hold these guys off, but it'll definitely be a lesson for him. Wow, Carmichael trying to hold that inside. Just looked like he almost overdid it.
Here comes Ricky. There goes Ricky. Into second place. RC now. Not that far away from Vohland, even though Vohland has kept his pace up.
Now, Ricky just out-jumped Sellards going into that line. It's only one line, and he was just had the nerve enough to try to beat him to the groove, and it worked. That's Pingree.
And it looks like he might be injured as well. David Pingree, who ended the Supercross season with a victory. But the Primal Suzuki rider looks like he's in bad shape right now. We'll have to try to get a report on him. Ricky Carmichael, there's our leader, Talon Vohland. Carmichael in second. Brock Sellards, number 27, in third. And Brandis in fourth.
I've talked with Carmichael of what he thinks about this class, and he knows Talon is fast, but he thinks that his presence for a long enough period of time in a moto should start to bother Talon and force him into mistakes. And that's just confidence in the fact that he's already won a couple of titles, and he knows he can go this pace for an entire race where Talon may be a little bit more on the edge. You saw that signal that Chad gave him at the first round. You can't count on that all the time.
Well, he slipped out in that first round with Ricky on his tail. Also, don't forget Daytona, the Supercross. A motocross-like track, Talon went down while in the lead.
has been prone to mistakes. If he's not making them, he's tough to catch. These guys can ride. I mean, Carmichael goes as fast as he can and not make any ground. But he's got to be patient and just stay there.
Look at Brandis. He's kicked up his act. Going to the inside on Brock Sellards.
He's actually running the same pace as Carmichael. He has stayed the same gap from RC ever since the beginning of the race. Whoever Ricky has passed, he's been able to get by as well. Look at that. Just took advantage. There wasn't much room right there, and he planned ahead. Squared him off, took the inside before they even got to the corner. That worked perfect.
Brandis twice coming from mid-pack to establish good results in the opening round. A 4th in the first moto and a 5th in the second for a 4th overall. Right now, a little bit better start here in the opening moto. The Primal Suzuki rider Brandis agrees with VOHLAND that RC is beatable for this championship.
Yeah, I think Ricky has proven himself to be, dominant over the years. I think rest guys, like Casey and Talon, and myself, I think we'll be battling out too. But I don't have the attitude. I don't think anybody does that Ricky is invincible. He has won. He has proven himself, but he is beatable.
It'll be interesting to see if Brandis can keep up this style of competition throughout the entire season.
He must like this track today, or else he's just been building confidence and riding better. He's actually made up time on Ricky. Not letting him get away. That's a good strategy. Just stick with the guy that is the marked man. The guy you think is going to win the title. At least has the best shot. Try to stay with him and learn.
Speaking of shots, it's a great speed shot there. You see all the debris on the camera lens. That'll give you a little bit of idea how many tear-offs they might be going through on this track.
Well, you know what? Normally you go through quite a bit, but the dirt here is dry enough that hits you and just kind of falls off. It lasts a little bit longer. You see Ricky reach up a lot. I asked Chad, you see right there making a signal. What Ricky does when he goes up in the air, and he always reaches up, but he doesn't pull a tearaway. He's actually readjusting his helmet. It's just a habit he has.
Okay, Ricky Carmichael trying to chase down this, our leader, number 711. It's going to be a fight to the finish. Art Ekman, David Bailey, Davey Coombs from Sacramento, California. Round 2 of 125 action. This is our opening moto at the HANGTOWN Classic. Brock Sellards, number 27, got the whole shot. Held the lead for a while before 711 took over. Talon VOHLAND. And now Casey Johnson is in a battle with Sellards for 4th place.
Johnson just went past his cheering section. You see all the guys in blue out there clapping with the headsets. They got spotters all around the racetrack. And poor Sellards, he's riding a great race, but that's the problem when you get the whole shot. When you're not Ricky Carmichael or Talon VOHLAND, you're going to get bothered.
Well, he's had some enduring battles here already.
But he's still running a fast pace, so regardless of whether he's able to hold off Johnson here or not, he's still going to be able to go sit back in the pits and think, you know what, I'm riding as fast as I've ever ridden. I got to see what those guys look like. Next time it'll be a little different.
He had a 6th and a 7th place moto in the opening round. There you see Ricky Carmichael. Carmichael feeling great, getting back in that 125 machine after a rather disturbing Supercross season on the 250s. Right now, RC's just trying to get in position to put some pressure on Talon VOHLAND. Before race time, we talked with our leader about this blossoming rivalry.
I mean, I'm sure he's number 1, and I knew he would be the guy to beat, but I'm not scared of him or anything, and I feel motivated, and I'm going to work hard, and I'm going for this championship.
VOHLAND taking the lead away from RC during the second moto of the season's opener confirmed his passion.
I was just really confident in the first race. I didn't know the riders that I was racing. A lot of new young kids coming up that I didn't even know their names, but the result was still top 3, and from that point on, I know that I can be very competitive to win the championship, so I'm very confident for the rest of the season. And the harder I work, the luckier I get, and I'm working really hard right now.
Talon's Supercross experience was a tough one, since the only double he has seen in 8 years was the one he ordered at a Wendy's drive-thru.
In Europe, I moved over to Europe in '92 after racing here, and it has really been good for me financially, and I really learned a lot, and I've really improved over the years of being there.
Real strong outdoors, and we just didn't get off to the right foot in Supercross, so we took a little time off, did some great training, and I think we'll be ready. I think everybody's going to see a great series this year.
Going to the GP scene in Europe in 1992 was a good business move, but getting the opportunity to come home fulfills his original dream.
My first priority in my life was to win national titles, and then it changed going over to Europe. And but your deep down priority was to do that. So an opportunity is sitting in front of me every week right now.
Talon returns to a very familiar track today.
I like HANGTOWN track because this is where I originally started racing at, but my favorite part's maybe the double downhill, the turn before it. It's real nice, spectacular, and it's fun to do.
You guys think alike, David Bailey?
Well, that was a section I really wanted to look at during the track map. I thought this is a neat perspective for everyone to look at home. What you really can't tell is how far down that drop. If you don't make it, it's a big valley in between those two doubles.
The final lap, Ricky Carmichael is right there. He's got a chance against Talon Vohland, that's for sure. Casey Johnson coming up on Brock Sellards.
So Brock still isn't that poor guy has just been hounded this whole time.
There goes Johnson, and Johnson taking over 4th place. Sellards, though, in the top 5. Good race for Sellards.
Well, they held off Johnson for a while. Still got that 5th position. That's one better than he's ever finished in a national if he can hang on.
Look at here, Scott Sheik, number 26, the Split Fire Pro Circuit team, making his move up the ladder.
Getting by Buddy Antonez. Oh!
Ouch. Buddy Antonez, number 54, the 3-time Arena Cross champion, regaining the advantage.
Oh, that could have been ugly. That's just one of those ones where you go, I don't know how I saved it, but good thing he didn't go down. He'd probably gotten run over, too, because all those guys are right behind him.
The final lap running down. Talon Vohland now inching ahead a little bit. This could be his first moto win, returning to the national scene. Ricky Carmichael has given him all kinds of pressure. And this time he didn't crack.
Now listen to how excited the people are.
Hometown boy. That's where he started his racing. The checkers for Talon. Ricky Carmichael in 2nd place.
Both these guys putting in a great ride, but Talon has got to be ecstatic right now.
He did not get rattled with RC's presence. A tremendous ride for Talon Vohland. Brock Sellers, Danny Smith, Nathan Ramsey with their best motos of the year. Let's go down to Davey Coombs now, talking with Ricky.
Ricky, tough ride. Talon Vohland was going really fast, but you stayed calm, you stayed in control. Very close second.
Yeah, it was close. You know, I wish I could have beat him, but I mean, I came from behind and caught up to him, so I'm not worried about the speed part. You know, I got that, and you know, I've won 2 of these championships, and I know what it takes to win them, and you know, I can be consistent every race, and I should have no problem. But I got a little tight as soon as I got by Brock. My left arm pumped up, and I mean, I was riding behind him, but I couldn't give it the extra effort to pass him because I felt like I would have crashed, you know, because my hand was slipping. But you know, it'll be a different story next moto.
A very determined Ricky Carmichael, challenged beyond his comfort zone by number 711, Talon Vohland. A great win for Talon. Let's go down now to Davey Coombs, who's with our victorious rider.
Talon's awful hectic down here in the winner's circle, but I just want to tell you, congratulations. You just beat the fastest 125 rider maybe this country ever produced.
Yeah, I'm very happy, you know. I did a lot of training before the race, and I'm really, really determined to win this championship. So, like I said, the harder I train, the luckier I get. So just keep training hard, and hopefully I'll keep getting lucky.
You had a good start, but then Ricky came at the end, all kinds of pressure.
Yeah, it was riding hard the whole way. I think our speed's really equal. I saw that yesterday, so I knew it'd be a tough race. Didn't want to let him by, so just hold on.
How'd you feel at the end of the moto?
I felt really good. It's pretty easy compared to the GPs. We do so much riding on Saturday and time, and in 40 minutes it's so tougher. This is so easy for me.
All right, well, good job. We'll let you get ready for the second moto.
Thank you.
We'll find out just how easy it will be for number 711 as number 1 tries to get back on the winning track. When we return with our second moto of 125s from Sacramento, California. We're back at the Prairie City SVRA Park in Sacramento, California. They call it the HANGTOWN Classic for round 2 of 125 action. Moto 2 coming up as they work on the track. Talon Vohland, his first victory coming back to America after several years of the GP circuit around the world. Ricky Carmichael looking very relaxed after taking a second place in that first moto, looking for another overall win. Ernesto Fonseca tries to recover from a 19th in that first moto. Let's go back to Davey now at the starting gate. Your impressions?
Getting ready for the start of the second moto down here in front of the 125 gate. They say that experience is what you get when things don't work out the way they're supposed to. I think Ricky Carmichael got a little experience here in the first moto at Hangtown. How he reacts now in the second moto might set the tone for the rest of this 125 National Series, guys.
Ricky Carmichael only 9 wins away from breaking Barnett's landmark 25 125 victories on the season. Talon Boland looking for his very first national victory. Board sideways, we're ready to go for moto number 2 from Sacramento, California. Who will get the jump? Ricky Carmichael. Just a little squirrely coming out of the gate number 33, Casey Lytle. Casey Lytle's got the whole shot. Whoa, Ramsey getting a little out of sorts there with Boland right behind him. Carmichael in a good spot. He's about 4th right now. All the big players are in good position.
Looking real good for Yamaha of Troy. Both those guys. Oh.
Looks like a Kawasaki went flying from the inside, and he's underneath the bike. It affected Fonseca once again, who got a slow start. Billy Payne.
Well, that's dangerous. He's underneath the motorcycle right there. The pipe, I'm surprised if it didn't burn him. It was right on him. The pipe is like a frying pan. Watch again. Right here, Billy Payne. He's going to get high-sided right off the back tire of the rider in front of him, goes down. That's just a dangerous time to go down when this pack is.
Bad break for Pro Circuit too, David Bailey, because they've already lost one rider, Shea Bentley, who broke his arm in the first moto of the opening round. So it looks like Billy Payne will be having to recover. At least they got a week off next week. If it's not too serious, maybe he can come back in time. Casey Lytle is our leader. Ricky Carmichael now moving into 2nd place. Casey Johnson in 3rd. And Talon Boland in 4th.
Carmichael wasted no time going right down that watered downhill where Casey Johnson was maybe taking it a little bit easy. Carmichael took advantage of it. Put as many riders behind him as he possibly can between himself and Boland. Make this moto a little easier than the first time out.
Casey Johnson, just a little mistake there, but Boland not close enough to take advantage of it yet.
Look how far Boland jumps, all the way past the water. And he rides flat on the rear tire of the guy in front of him. I mean, if there's just one little tiny mistake, he's almost halfway past the guy.
Boland in pursuit of Casey Johnson as we take a look at our leaders. A 4-pack lead. Inside, Ricky Carmichael on Casey Lytle. It's Carmichael in the lead. Boy, he wasted no time after that first moto experience.
Well, he looked irritated to me when he came in and got his interview with Davey. Very calm. He looked motivated already. Like, just bring the second moto on right now. Put gas in this thing. It's going to be a different story next time. And he didn't kid him.
Explaining to some of those new fans now, Ricky Carmichael was 2nd in the first moto. Should he win this moto and Talon Boland go 1-2? The rider with the best finish in the second moto would take the overall. Chad Watts looking on, his young rider, dominating the first round, sweeping it 1-1, having more trouble with this young man, number 711 in the first moto of the second round. But Ricky is coming back.
That was a sketchy time to reach up to clear his vision. Front end was dancing around. It's full throttle up the hill. Usually wait till you're in the air to do that stuff. He reached up just before he was going off the jump. He does things like that. It scares me, but there's another one. Gets all sideways right there. This guy takes chances, but it worked the first moto. He won it.
Well, he's going to turn into a fan favorite the way he rides, that's for sure. But he keeps the fans guessing. Casey Johnson, number 16.
Much better start for Ramsey. He got wide in the first corner, tagged the hay bales, but saved it.
Well, this is his best day in motocross after a horrible start on the season. He had a 7th place finish in the opening moto here today. 125 West Supercross champion Nathan Ramsey.
Look at that landing. McCormick jumping off that jump about as far as Boland. Both those guys aggressive through there. They're making up time, but it takes a lot of strength to soak up that landing.
RC gaining some time out front. Talon Boland to the inside on Casey Lytle, and he moves into 2nd place. Boy, he's not the most orthodox rider in the world, that's for sure.
He's back.
He creates excitement. And Boland catch Ricky Carmichael. We'll be right back with more Moto 2 of 125 action in a moment.
AMA Motocross is brought to you by Suzuki, makers of innovative motorcycles and ATVs. See the incredible new 1999s at your dealer now.
Okay, this was so good. We got to look at it again. Vohland down the inside, just chattering into that corner on the brakes, and on the power, still in a slide. That's what it takes to move up the ladder and try to stay with Carmichael.
Incredible how this guy holds onto that machine sometimes and the speeds that he's going.
It's a lot like Hannah. Just he wants to win, his total determination, and he's not worried about physical fitness. You heard him after the first moto going, "This is easy." So he's letting it all hang out.
125 action, second moto. Don't forget, we've got the 250s coming up. Can Sebastian Tortelli repeat like he did with a 1-1 sweep at Glen Helen in the opener? Is there anyone who can step up to challenge Sebastian Tortelli like VOHLAND has Ricky Carmichael? Here's Nathan Ramsey, number 25, and Jason McCormick. This is the finest motocross so far for McCormick.
And Ramsey. The first moto was a disaster, going down the first corner both times. It took him half the first moto to work himself into the top 20 and even score a point.
16th and 12th in the two motos in the first round. For McCormick, he had a 24th in the first round in the first moto and came back with an 8th in the second moto at Glen Helen.
I'll tell you, it's pretty frustrating to work your tail off through an entire moto, get 24th and score no points. 1 point for 20th, and then that's it. You might as well just stay in the pits the whole time.
McCormick looking for his best performance of the year now. Makes the pass on Nathan Ramsey. Well, that's got to be divine justice. McCormick having a very difficult Supercross season. Passes a Supercross champion.
This goes to show. I think he had that under control. It looked a little nerve-wracking from here. Go back and look at McCormick's pass up the inside. Makes it look pretty easy, but let's look at something else. Okay, they're in deep ruts right here. See his foot? He's got to keep it pretty high, a little higher than normal because he's down in the rut to clear that inside berm. Just another one of those little things you don't really notice when these guys are at speed.
Jason McCormick, number 36. Looking like he's getting it together.
Well, anytime you move up through the pack and pass somebody like Ramsey, it does a lot for your spirits in the sense that this pace, so much of it's mental. He's thinking good thoughts right now in that helmet. He should keep moving forward. It gives him a lot of confidence to build on in the rounds to come.
That kind of confidence he showed us at Washougal in his home state a couple of times.
Well, that's a perfect example of the mental aspect. I mean, if you can go to a particular round and pull off a great performance, then that performance is in there the rest of the time. It's a matter of getting your head right.
Ricky Carmichael, our leader. And he's really starting to pull a lead now on the rest of the crew.
Well, his lines look good. He's charging hard. Look at that, just peg through there. I haven't seen him make a mistake yet. He does not want to have anything to do with VOHLAND in this moto. The thought of him losing the overall is just about the worst thing in the world he can think of, so he doesn't even want to let him get close and have an opportunity.
Carmichael just taking away with this second moto, trying for his second consecutive overall win in two 125 events.
Lytle hanging on here a little longer than he did the first time. You see there how close McCormick and Ramsey have gotten to these guys, and we're running 1-2 in the opening lap.
Our Suzuki rundown, you see McCormick in 5th place there behind Casey Johnson. That's exactly what we're focused on. Casey, number 16. McCormick getting antsy.
He's really putting on a good charge here. You can see 3rd place is right there within his grasp.
McCormick to the inside, takes Casey Johnson. In all fairness to Casey Johnson, and I don't mean to take away from anything of Jason McCormick, but Casey's still trying to recover from that Supercross injury. And Jason McCormick, he's come to race here today, and he's taking on Casey Lytle now for 3rd.
There's another section where McCormick's making up time, and I agree with you, Art. Casey's just trying to race his way back into shape. McCormick is just on fire this moto. Everything's coming together. Watch the way he goes around the outside, misses all those braking bumps. Sets him up perfect for that pass. If Casey would have drifted a little wider, that would have been over with.
The battle for 3rd as Carmichael has run away with the lead. Look at that. McCormick, that was an easy one compared to the last two.
It looks easy, but he was very aggressive. It's hard to hold the bike tight when you're going that hard.
Here comes Casey Johnson. Casey Johnson passes Casey Lytle as we get set for a break, but the checkers are going to be flying for the 125s when we return. Welcome back. Art Ekman, David Bailey, and Davey Coombs from Sacramento, California. Our second round well underway. The first moto winner, Talon Vohland, in the 125s. Right now, Ricky Carmichael is dominating this second moto of the 125s. We're looking right now at the only battle, really, and that is for fourth. Nathan Ramsey making a move on number 33, Casey Lytle. Ramsey going into that corner. Oh, they almost touched.
That was just a gamble on his part. He just flew off that jump, tried to out-jump him and just place himself to the inside for the block pass. Lytle had to just back off.
Ramsey starting to get aggressive. Looks like he's gained some confidence from that first moto appearance.
Here's Ramsey again making his pass, just out-jumping Lytle into the corner. Here's what I want you to see. Look how close they get. If Lytle doesn't play his cards right here, look how close his front wheel is to the back tire of Ramsey. Just puts on the brakes just enough. These guys know the dimensions of their motorcycle to the inch.
Casey Johnson and Nathan Ramsey, fourth and fifth positions now. He had a tough start in the Supercross season, but came back to win a 125 championship. He's got more races now in motocross to try to recover from that dubious opener. Before race time today, we talked with him about the Glen Helen experience.
No, I was a little anxious and wanted to keep the ball rolling, into the outdoors. And I came into that first race and crashed in both the first motos and the second moto too. So, it was kind of depressing, but I feel like I rode pretty strong. So I'm gonna just try to, come at this race at Hangtown and get good starts first of all, and then try to get up there with the top guys and race that speed.
All the tight racing action has been behind the two leaders. Ricky Carmichael checking out in first place, and in second place, Talon Vohland. All the action's been back here at third, fourth, fifth, and sixth.
Johnson making a little mistake before the big tree double downhill. Nathan right there behind can see that. He knows that this is the part of the race where Johnson starts to get a little bit weak, and in his defense, of course, that injury, not able to come in here 100%. There goes that same place where he made his pass before.
Just as close, but this time Johnson comes out of it with some good torque. Nathan Ramsey, though, holds on to the inside.
Almost able to retaliate there. He had a good idea by squaring him off, but Ramsey didn't make any mistakes heading up that hill into the corner, able to hold on. To tell you the truth, I don't know that Johnson's really ready to go out there and keep battling with Ramsey the rest of this race. He just made a couple of mistakes. He got past. You can see that Ramsey is still pretty antsy and motivated to work his way up front, jumping that double. I don't know if Johnson's arm is really going to allow him to ride that aggressive towards the end of the motor.
And here's the battle for sixth now with Casey Lytle and Brock Sellards. Sellards has been pretty pummeled with the guys passing him. Now he's trying to get a hold of another position by passing Lytle.
That's exactly right. He did the whole shot the first moto and had everybody working their way around. Now he gets to do it back. Pretty good ride for him. This will be a good performance. Working his way up the ladder. It's a long series if he keeps putting in performances like this. Line. That's where he got passed a lot in the first moto. He's like, okay, that's not going to happen again.
Brock Sellards learning from that first moto. Number 27 on the FMF machine.
This is the time of day, too, and towards the end of their second moto where the track starts to get pretty dry in spots where it was slick earlier. Really got to be careful on the throttle. Make sure you got a berm to make your pivot and then get accelerating across that slick stuff in a straight line.
Number 23 is Nick Way coming into the picture now behind Lytle.
Way had such good starts in that opening round that it was easy for him to get into a good rhythm, good fast rhythm. Here, he's had to work from behind. It's tougher.
Nick Way started to really find himself at the end of the Supercross season, and then we asked him about his second place overall in the opener.
Well, all year long, I've been kind of struggling at the beginning, and things have been coming together for me, and I just feel a lot better on my bike, and me and my mechanic are working real good together, and my bike's excellent. And, you know, I'm just doing my best out there, and that's what happened, and this week I hope for better things to come.
Well, he has his sights set high. That opening round, getting both hole shots, really helped him get out front and establish a good rhythm in this series. And today it's been a lot tougher, but he's still charging forward. He looks aggressive to me right here.
Very young rider with a lot of potential, Nick Way, out of the state of Michigan. We'll be right back with more 125 action from Sacramento right after these important words. For the Suzuki flashback, we turn back the pages of time to 1997 at the HANGTOWN Classic. Jeff Emig, on his way to the 1997 250 national title, wins the first moto. The significant pass on the last lap of the first moto, Greg Albertine setting himself up for the overall, passing Larry Ward. Second moto, it was Greg Albertine battling Doug Henry. Henry's machine smoking, so Albertine not only battling the rider, but also the smoke. The second national 250 victory for Albertine.
While we were away, this was the pass. Nick Way on Casey Lytle. Almost hits his back tire, but cuts to the inside. Block pass, takes over the spot.
Nick Way taking over 7th position as we go back to our leader, Ricky Carmichael, in the Suzuki stopwatch. Get an idea of the interval of time. This is a lap for Jason Thomas, and it is a long way back to second place in Talon Vohland. About 12 seconds or between 11 and 12 seconds to second place, and then another huge gap back to third, David Bailey.
That's just frustrating. You come around, you're that far behind, you're just going, oh man, and it's been an amazing ride for McCormick there, going by about 27 seconds back. And he's got to think, geez, I'm that far behind, and one of my best rides of the season so far. That's how good Carmichael is and how fast Vohland is.
Johnson, Brock Sellards going through the picture. So about 44.62 seconds back to 9th place from our leader, Ricky Carmichael. Carmichael has been absolutely flawless in this second moto.
And get under the power through that berm. It's starting to get choppy. You can hear it. He steals a glance over his shoulder as he goes down that downhill double just to see where Talon is.
As Ricky Carmichael circles the track, let's check in with Davey down in the mechanics area.
Wow, Chad, looks like Ricky came out firing this moto. What did he talk about between motos? How did he feel?
Well, after the first moto, his left arm pumped up. He's holding on a little tight. So he just relaxed it, and Dr. Pagan drained the blood out of it, freshed it in and out. So, I mean, evidently right now things are going pretty smooth. As long as it keeps continuing this way, then the outcome should be pretty good.
And here's Ricky Carmichael's teammate, number 25, Nathan Ramsey, on the move.
Making a little bit of time on McCormick, but it's hard to say. He's still got, McCormick's got a fast pace going. He's not gaining fast enough, I don't think, to make a move.
Very little mystery in this moto.
This is the part of the race when you look up the track and see a big gap where you're going, man, if I could have just got a little bit better start, it'll be all different. He knows he's capable of running the pace of the guys out front, but you can't start with him. It's pretty tough to race with him.
Ramsey's mechanic. Focus ahead.
Trying to let him know that McCormick looks tired. For all Nathan knows, he could be lying. You know, whatever it takes to get these guys motivated at the end of the race.
Nick Way's mechanic gives him the thumbs up. Way recovering well.
Nathan's still aggressive though. You can see right here, he's pushing hard. You get a signal like that, and then you think, maybe you can still do it. Push a little bit harder, and all McCormick's got to do is look back there and see that he gained a little bit, and that may change his style of riding, and then who knows what can happen.
Vohland looking very smooth. Riding almost alone in second place. Davey Coombs is with his brother right now, Tyson. Davey.
Obviously, Carmichael came out with his best game so far in his second moto. How do you think Town will respond in the last half?
Yeah, Ricky's riding real well right now. He got off a couple spots ahead of us, got to the lead and stretched it out quick. We're hanging in there, but it looks like we're losing about half a second a lap. At the halfway point right now, I'd say we'd probably just have to settle for second and take our points.
For some reason, I can't see Talon Vohland settling for anything, David Bailey, but he knows that Ricky Carmichael has got the big edge on him right now.
He's still riding aggressive. You know, he doesn't want to. One thing you don't want to do is just settle for second and make that lead huge. You want to stay pretty close so that Carmichael can't go back to the pits and go, I have that guy. I mean, he needs to have him looking back on, man, he was still pretty close. I won the moto, but it wasn't that much of a blowout.
David, the pit board for McCormick saying breathe, and I guess it's kind of unusual, but you do forget to breathe in certain situations.
Sure, especially in Supercross. But out here, you see the rider looking a little bit tight. You just want to remind him, try to keep him relaxed.
Lots of AMA motocross action ahead on the season. Check out the location nearest you. We'll be right back.
Just want to show you how tough this can be. Late in the race, the track's getting rough. You get a slightly offline. Boom! Back end swaps around, kicks up a big bucket full of dirt right there. Doesn't even phase McCormick. Right back on the power in the smooth line. That kind of stuff happens out there. That's sometimes why those mechanics remind you to breathe.
Jason McCormick still ready to post his finest moto of the season. He's got to be getting tired by now.
There's his mechanic. Hang on, third looks good.
Representing the Planet Honda team. There's Casey Johnson now getting some static from Brock Sellards.
Sellards still moving forward. First moto did a lot for his spirits, and here he is battling Casey Johnson once again. One of the faster sections on the racetrack, heading up to the big tree and then the big double downhill.
Oh, look at Sellards. Beautiful move on the outside on Casey Johnson.
Oh, that was, that could have been. I don't even want to think how that could have turned out. That was
slammed it down.
That's what we call the panic rev.
And here's our leader. Weeding through the lappers. Ricky Carmichael on the white flag lap. Final turn around the course.
Doesn't look like he's slowed down that much. Probably just having a good time out there. Everything's coming together. You slow down a little bit sometimes and changes your timing. You hit bumps at a different speed and sometimes you blow it. See guys fall in the last lap, make a lot of mistakes, lose all kinds of time. Right here, he's still attacking the racetrack.
This will be his third out of 4 motos this year. Victorious. Here's Brock Sellards, number 27, and Nathan Ramsey slapping the turf.
Got that front end a little high, just pitched it down and gave him almost whiplash.
Ricky Carmichael on way to his second overall victory in 2 races on the 1999 season. Nathan Ramsey has gone down on the track. We'll see how many positions he slips back. But for Ricky Carmichael, he's only 7 wins away from tying the career 125 win record with the checkered flag here today. Carmichael, Vohland, McCormick, the top 3 in this moto. See Nathan Ramsey moving down to 7th. Let's go to Davey.
Town, after a great first moto, Ricky came out firing, and it looked like he just decided to settle and take second.
Well, I chose on the back to have my same tire as the first moto because I like it rounded for the cement start. Got me a good start, but look, obviously, I was really sliding. I almost lost in the back section, and I had a couple other close calls. I was pushing hard, holding about even, but I was at my limit, so that's where it goes, you know, from when I was younger, I wouldn't be mature enough to go, okay, I take my points today and we go on to the next race, you know. Last week I caught and passed him. This week he got a better start second moto. It's going to be a hard, tough fight. We're both about the same speed the whole way, so I just accepted that. You know, I'd like to win here, but I won the first moto. I'm very happy with the results, and I go on to the next race.
I tell you what, it's fantastic having you here. We were thinking it was going to be a Carmichael runaway all year long. If it weren't for you, it might be, but right now it's kind of straight up.
Yeah, we're both equal on speed, you know. He was going a little bit better that moto. It seemed like, I don't know if he's getting better traction or what the situation was, but like, again, you have to accept that sometimes when a guy's going better than you a certain moto, next week I could be way faster. So you just have to accept that and go on.
Taking a look at the overall finish positions, the 2-1 beating the 1-2. for the overall victory for Carmichael. Sellards also on the podium. Let's go back to Davey now, who's with Ricky.
All right, Ricky, way to respond to a big challenge. I got to tell you, Vohland was flying the first moto. You pumped up a little bit, second moto, whole different ball game.
Yeah, I got out front, and you know, I got that little lead, and when one of us gets that lead, it's hard to close the gap in, you know, and I just rode my own race that time, and I didn't get tight, and I tell you what, my Kawasaki and Bridgestone tires was hooking up, and you know, I'm glad I could, you know, get the overall. It was important to me. I didn't make up very many points, but we're going back to the East Coast, and that's on my turf, and some good tracks, and I'm excited. So it should be a lot funner for me.
Well, right now you're 2 for 2 in the 125 National Series. Got to say that some of the problems of the Supercross Series long behind you, and you are going back to your favorite East Coast.
Yeah, I am going back to East Coast. You know, Mount Morris is the next race, and I had a great national there last year, and that's one of my favorite tracks. And I'm excited to go there. And you know, these first 2 nationals was going to be my hardest ones, and I'm glad I got them out of the way, and I'm glad I could come out with victories.
Carmichael and Vohland scoring the same number of points for winning one and taking second in the other are still 13 points apart in the championship race. Weighs in third, while Johnson and Sellards are tied for fourth.